So that is about my first project that I did with my student in the class. So I have used all of these tools as a cognitive tool for my students. I believe that by using all of these tools with the proper pedagogy, like what I mentioned earlier, I integrated three pedagogy, problem-based learning in one module. Second module, I use the project-based learning. And the third module, I use the discussion-based learning. Along with this all, I believe that it will help enhance my learners up to this creating level of cognitive domain, which is the creating one. Okay, so for you all, if you feel that this is so interesting, and are there other tools that you can use for your class beside the Google application? These are the nice chart that like for us, we study this for one semester. Like, I mean, if you're going to explore all the tools, but this is very interesting one that you can try explore each tools. For example, like in your class, let's say that your class, you very give emphasis on the evaluating. Okay, your class, you want to develop student evaluating domain in the cognitive domain. You may consider other tools in here, for example, like Rubric Star or ePortfolio one. Okay, that is one tool that I find to be interesting and also would like to share with you all in order to see the connection between the ICT tools and the learning domain. On the top level of the lower level of learning, back on the Bloom digital taxonomy, you will see that Wolfram Alpha is at the applying level. Okay, so they apply the knowledge what you teach them and apply to other solutions. Okay, so there are other tools, like before going to bed, you may take a look, thinking about it, and suddenly you will feel sleepy, right? But anyway, so just like the nicely chart for you to in the future, if you want to develop any cognitive domain, cognitive skill for your students at any level, you may consider this in addition to the tools that I showed it to you earlier. Okay. Now, case one. You can see that based on the finding of the research study and what I implemented in my class, we found that the blended e-learning model, the pedagogy is important as much as the technology one. So be sure that when you design your blended learning, you have the pedagogy integrated in there too. And the blended learning one may be too general. You may need to find the specific one in order to serve what you expect to enhance to your students. In this case, I want to enhance my students the knowledge construction one, which is the highest level of the cognitive domain. So in order to enhance the knowledge construction one, I integrate the cognitive tools in my blended learning model. Okay, you can see the point, right? So if you want to enhance something else, for example, you want to enhance students' attitude toward the learning attitude or whatever, the tools may be changed. It may be like, have you heard like my tools, collaborative tools, and other kind of tools, in addition to just the simply blended learning. Okay. Now, anyone would like to share your ideas about the class that you're teaching now? You emphasis on what level of the cognitive domain? How can you know, like, the class you emphasis on what level, you can look at the objective of your class and then it will tell. For example, if you teach like 101 type of class, it may be only student can explain different types of blah blah blah, or students can apply the knowledge and conducting the project, things like that. So this is the first year or the second year classes. Okay, once you teach like the sophomore or the senior one, you may emphasis on the analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So anyone would like to share like what have you done in your class? For example, like your class give emphasis on what level of cognitive domain and what kind of tools that you have used. It may not be something else beside, like what have shown it on this screen. But yeah. Anyone? So many people want to share. I could not make decision. Okay. If no one, Dr. Warasuang, you have to be.
That there are some prizes.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that there are some prizes for during the cocktail party.
Right.
I heard that houses, cars, diamond. Come on, please, anyone, please, if you have ever used.
Sorry, I don't intend to occupy your time. But anyway, last semester that I mentioned is going to be the class is pretty difficult. That is about the IT entrepreneurship. And then the thing that I come up with the idea, I didn't know that this is a flip class anyway. But I assigned that I have to meet the student, 67 students from Mae Fah Luang, right? And 2 weeks. One meeting, Saturday from 10 o'clock up to the whole day of Sunday. So that is 2 days. And then I'm thinking about I cannot do the lecture. And then this kind of thing that what I need by the end of the semester, they got to be the entrepreneur, some idea, because this is the third year student and the new classes. So I'm using the HP learning resources, which I mentioned yesterday, because they have the concept of the marketing and the finance, operation, and whatever to be the entrepreneur under the title of entrepreneurship. So I decided them to, this is a must, like a learning resources, study before, and on each module that they have. But at the same time, I study with the student too. Each module that they gone through, they get the paper out at the certificate, all right? Each module, they have like a require 2 or 3 hours. So, I assign that and including the textbook in the market. The textbook, you may see, if you go to the C8, you may see how to be the เท่าแก่น้อย how to be entrepreneurship, good marketing. So I got on the textbook. And then I read that and I assign, because this is like a how-to, but it's not how-to actually. It's a marketing, simplify. So I assign them all the thing, and then they can read. I just said, the first week we go with the set up your business in the general. And then later on, by the end of the semester, I would like to come up with the company, not just solely be any business, but got to be the IT related. So related, for example, they may come up with, to be the shop that selling the hardware, selling the accessory, or even selling Apple. But I just said, how can you invest the money? They said, I don't need to invest any money, because they just said, be the buyer, be the middleman or something like that. Anyway, there is no final examination, just only the project. But midterm or concept. But I'm not teaching anything in the class. I just be the coaching and wrap up, and then something that's on, and then let them do the study. But they did a good job with that, and they come up, with the group and do the presentation. So I choose Facebook for the keep tracks of what goes on with each group of the student, and then they post the thing. Let's say that I want to measure about how they polite or impolite, talking each
Uh-huh,
other. They can use the jargon among the young people, but have to be polite, something. But usually this class conduct in English, so it's easy for them to grab the HP resources. So that's the thing that I use, and I still have the evidence from that, and I'm going to put into the paper. Facebook can let me go back and then check them out. So the presentation of each one that they have, which is good one. Like when how to decide the logo, what the thing behind that. I think I'm getting to the applying, evaluation.
Yeah.
How can you think that your product will make the money? How can you measure and what the team working or something like that? And then creating at the end.
Yeah,
So I
at the
think
end.
I come up with those up to there.
Up to this level,
Yes,
right?
but no lecture at all for the whole
Right.
class.
Yeah.
Because this is November up to December, January. And it's got to be bi-weekly, we call bi-weekly, because I was the part-time teacher since October, and I went back to Chiang Rai to teach them.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I'm using. Thank you.
Very good example one. So as you can see that instead of she used, because only the meeting is once weekly, right? One time every 2 weeks. So she used those meaningful time to instead of giving the lecture to the learners, but rather she just used those meaningful time to come up with the group activities, and she as the counselor advisor to them is something that they even need more than you give the lecture to them. This is what and they enjoy because it's active learning type of class. They don't, and remember, if going back to that Edgar Dale kind of learning experience, even though you don't give that much lecture, but you let them do something, the knowledge still with them even more than you give the very, very good lecture. Only 50% will stay there. I didn't mean that lecture is not important, it's still, but you may have to integrate it or come up with something, not only the lecture, but lecture, suggestion, wrap up, and then activities. Okay. Now this is the second case that I would like to share with you, based on what I have done last year, and also this one not only I test it with my student, but I also I also joined a project with Mahidol University and Kasetsart University. So this project is something similar to the first one, but the difference is that this one I emphasize on the whole e-learning system, and in order to enhance cognitive skills, which is one of the domain for the TQF, the one that we all have to very concerned have to be sure that we integrate it in our class. Okay, so based on the input of 21st century students and the outcome that we expect, which is the I select the cognitive skill. It come up with the research question that how e-learning system can enhance the learning outcomes. In this case, is the cognitive skill according to the Thai qualification framework of higher education. So in this case, because I want the result of this project to be generalized to the big proportion of the higher education learners, so I divided my sampling into 3 major groups, which is according to the higher education. The first group would be science and technology, second group would be science and health, and the third group would be the humanity and social science. 3 groups. Okay, so I have the virtual classroom for them, and what I did in this class is that I collect all of the information from higher education about the cognitive skill and try to come up with the in the 3 disciplines what kind of cognitive skill that they have addressed in the document that they submitted to the higher education. the Higher Education Commission. So it came up with the total of 5 cognitive skills. And as you can see that after I got like these 5 cognitive skills, I asked the teachers, instructor from each discipline to rate the most important one, to put it in order like 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, like for science and technology, there are similarities and differences. In all 3 disciplines, the systematic thinking and analytical thinking are the 2 that all disciplines give emphasis on. They said like these 2 skills are very important. The difference would be for science and technology, they will give most important on scientific process. For science and health, they believe that applicable thinking will be the most important one. And for the social science and humanity, they give emphasis on creative thinking. So this is the result from phase 1 of this study. And then after I got that result as my dependent variables about the cognitive skills, and then I used my expertise to design the e-learning system, the 2 set of e-learning system. So in this project, we proposed 2 models, 2 type of classrooms. The first one, we find a solution for the current classroom. On the left-hand side, the current classroom one will be give emphasis on the blended learning environment, where we use mainly the web application and the social media. Because based on the survey we gathered from the student, we found that these are the 2 that they prefer, and also they told us that okay, and they prefer those that compatible on their mobile device. So those are the solution for the current classroom. And then we also propose the classroom for the future, like for the future classroom as well. So in this case, the information we gathered from the survey, students said that they like something like games. They want to have a water. They want to have another world. For example, like the second world that they have experienced before. So this is the second classroom that we propose for them for the future classroom. Okay. So accordingly to such finding, we have proposed 2 set of classroom. First one is the current situation classroom. In this case, we propose the e-learning system in blended learning environment. And the second one, we prepare the preparation for the future. We propose the classroom as the virtual learning environment, or the VLE. So in short, we call this is BLE and the VLE one. According to like those information we gather from the survey, we propose the set of tools, 2 kind of tools. The first set of tools we call open self-paced learning tools, the one that students learn on their own. Okay, in this case we try to use the resource which is like open for anyone, also called the OER, or open educational resources. And for some content which is so specific we could not find one, we develop our own, which is we use the streaming media base along with the interaction. Because as we all know that students for the 21st century, they prefer something like clickable, like interactive type of media. And another set of tools is open learning community tools, because we believe that students not only learn on their own, but we have to have the community for learning for them. So 2 sets of tools are proposed in this research. Okay, so this is the tools that we use for the open self-paced learning tools. We use the free open courseware available from, for example, like MIT and Merlot. You've seen the example, some example from previous sessions, right? Some of the clip very popular one, like the physics class one, things like that. Yeah. And TCU also have the open content. If you have go and check, like on the main page of TCU, we also have up to 700 courses that you can go and use the resource from there, and it's the open content too. Okay. Like what I mentioned earlier, for some content that I could not find because it's so specific, I developed, like just simply video clip and, like put it on YouTube. It's streaming media, so meaning that it can play on any devices. Whether students use iPhone, the Apple device, or the Android, or the Microsoft device, the Windows device. So streaming media will be the solution along with the interaction. Okay. In this case, I set up the situation for them, and then they can choose, the situation, and then it will bring to another clip, and like going to like another on and on and on, and be sure that it work on the mobile application or the mobile devices. Yeah. So for the model of current or existing classroom, in order to develop the cognitive skill, the Google Drive and YouTube video and also the Facebook have been used because this is what students prefer. We also add some of the tools. For example, in this case, we have used the Moodle Learning Management System. So there are some plugins that you may be interested in, like the one-way video streaming conference is the Red 5. And also we have MS Net Meeting, the two-way video conference too. And the expert of these two plugins are sit in back of the room, Kun Bandit, who helped me set up, this project. So if you have other question, you can maybe check with him. Yeah, the very handsome guy on the back. There are two handsome guys, so you have to make decision who is more handsome. Okay. So yeah, these are the tools that we did. And then the Moodle that we choose, for this project, we choose the Moodle, and the version is like 2.0 because it's compatible with the mobile device. Okay. Then for the community tools, we also use what we call the Open Simulator. So this is the what we propose for the future classroom. And let me show you how this works. So we basically set up the classroom for our learners. We have the big auditorium rooms for students to get together and then to share to present the project. And we also have the small room for them to go and do the group discussion according to whatever we assign to them. This is the admin of the system. So in the virtual world, we not walk but we fly. Okay, and then you can sit and then talk by chatting, or you can use the microphone and speaking too. And we can also control, like you want it to be the daytime or the nighttime. Okay, and the person who helped me set up this project also sit in the back of this room, the even more handsome one on the back of the room. So you have again make decision like which one. But yeah, like like TCU team helped me set up these all like tools, the community tools that we use for to my student last 2 semesters. Actually, like this open simulator is not the new tools, like just came up. It's been in higher education for a while. Is there any of you have played Second Life before? Some of you? No? Most of you only do academics, right? Don't play game or the Second Life? Okay. Here, what I want to show you is the clip. And this clip is from ISTE, the organization in educational technology. And this clip will show you about, you can add, normally like this ISTE will will host the conference every year. And then during the last 5 years, I think start in 2009, they also have different kind of attending the conference. So they offer you to attend the conference virtually too. So in this case, they use the Second Life, and then they let like the participant to attend their conference. So let's see how it works in by using this virtual learning environment into the virtual conference.
World headquarters. But this office is more pixels than plywood. The weather is perfect, and somehow it is always new. Launching ISTE's Second Life program has taken us on an amazing journey of new relationships, knowledge sharing, and exploration. I'm Jennifer Reagan-Fore, ISTE's General Membership Director and a project lead for our Second Life program. Over the next few minutes, you'll learn more about this vibrant community as you hear from the talented leaders, volunteers, and members who are meeting and collaborating every day in this new digital frontier. As we were launching our program, our primary goals were simple but ambitious. Support our members in building meaningful professional networks, reach a more diverse demographic, expose ISTE to global audiences, and showcase ISTE's programs and leaders. Along the way, this new communication vehicle became so much more. A means for peer-to-peer professional development via weekly topical sessions. An opportunity for group collaboration and the sharing of talent. The opening of a dialogue on important issues. A mechanism for volunteer and leader opportunities. And a way to bridge the gap between our real-life events and our geographically dispersed membership. Let's hear what two of our members find most valuable about this community.
I'm a small-town boy in a rural state where it takes a day's travel just to get to the beginning of a trip. I love my job running the Instructional Media Lab at Montana State University in Bozeman, but my national professional organizations have never been a priority with me. For one thing, the conferences are just too far away, physically and financially. I read to keep up with the field, but I don't really participate. About a year and a half ago, I decided to reward myself for completing a pile of hard work by playing a new game called Second Life. I really didn't know much about it. My first day in Second Life, I came to understand that it was a social game with players from all over the world. My second day, I found out about the building tools. My third day, I figured out what all this meant. It meant that the long dreamed of virtual classroom was already here. A few minutes later, I found out that I was not the first educator to have this epiphany. Actually, I was more like the 2000th. Since then, through Second Life, I have gotten involved with a network of educators from all over the planet. I've become involved with my national professional organizations in a way that I never was before. What used to be a journal I skimmed or a conference I would not attend was suddenly a collection of people I could interact with every day in a virtual face-to-face way. I re-established contact with one organization and joined another. I got so involved that I finally went to a national conference. I hope to get to 2 more conferences this year, but even if I don't make the physical trips, I will be attending virtually. I've been active in more professional development in the last year than in the previous 20, all because I decided to kill some time playing a game. My only regret is that I didn't start playing earlier. I'm Bill Freese, in both real life and Second Life.
In real life, my name is Marianne Malmstrom, and I'm a middle school teacher in Englewood, New Jersey. In Second Life, my name is No Clue Kid, and I hang out.
Okay, so the conclusion from this clip, besides learning how the virtual learning environment like, another conclusion we may be able to make is that the guy, you saw the guy earlier, right? The guy, Bill Freese, he, in the virtual world, he just simply as he is, right? Just look exactly the same. But what about for the girl? Yeah, suddenly skinner, have wings, and just like the conclusion. No, just this is just want to show you about this is the what they call the virtual learning environment, and some of the educator even said that this is the future of our classroom. So it doesn't mean that the regular classroom will be disappear, but we will use both of it along in order to enhance some higher order thinking skill, that type of skills. Okay. So just to make the conclusion to the second project, because the time is almost up, and they start to setting up our supper, and the smell is just so annoying to us, right? So so according to such the concept of this project, what me and my team did is that we not only come up with the tools, but we also come up with the learning activities, the active learning activities, go along with the tools and the assessment in order to enhance the cognitive skills. Okay? So again, not only the technology will work, in your class, but also be sure that you have the pedagogy. Okay, so this is the output of this project, and as you can see, the model proposed of to set the VLE1 and the BLE1, and you will see like the set of tools are the same, exactly the same. The difference would be on the proportion of the tools that used in the class. The current or the existing classroom will give more emphasis on the use of social media and web application together with the mobile device. And for the virtual learning environment, it may be something that, the open simulator one, the student can also have another mode of classroom, and then they can join and do the activities. Yeah. So, for the rest, I don't think we have time, but let me show you one more slide here. According to this project, the one that I'm working now and just did the experiment last semester, because remember, in Thai context, not only the 21st century outcome and the TQF that we have to give emphasis on, but also next year we're going to ASEAN community. So my last project that I got the grant, we are using this as the context. So what I did is that I also again designed the VLE system, the virtual learning environment, enhance 21st century skill in learning and innovation for higher education in ASEAN cultural community. So this is the one that I'm working on now. And as you can see that instead of only Thai students, in this project, we also invite the students from ASEAN country members. We got students from Philippines, Vietnam, and Cambodian to join our project. And this is my student along with her avatar. She wants to be sexy, so it's okay, but I mean, as long as it's not too much, okay? And this one, we have divided the land into the small groups, for 7 groups of the students, and we have the house for each group, and we also put the flag, to represent, each country members. Let's say we have Thai, Philippines, and, Cambodian, we have their flags. So one of the concern is that students need to feel ownership in order to make the learning successful. So they have to feel their belonging and they have ownership. So in this case, we use the flag as, to represent the ownership, and they will, conduct the activity in, their own place. So just to give you an idea about the use of technology tools in higher education, in order to, the one that in order to answer the trends and what happened in Thai education context. And that would be all. But before we end the session, Dr. Warsuang also have 2 more tools for you to try on. The one that some of participants asked for, the Bitly one, right? Bitly and also the Hangout. And I promise that we will use only how many minutes? 5 minutes. Yeah. And then we will rewarding everyone by the nice supper meal. Let me go and check what we have.
Cocktail.
The cocktail.
We have also shark fin.